Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The Abridged Version, Chapter 13, A Journey to England. Days and weeks went by. I couldn't start the work. I knew this would make the monster mad. I had read about a scientist in England who was studying the female body. I knew his work would help me to create the monster's wife. I also knew it would be a good way for me to go away for a while. I could explain to my father that I need to learn from this teacher, and it would give me time to create this new monster away from my family. I didn't want them to see me during this time. I hoped, too, that it would help keep the monster away from Elizabeth and my father. The last thing I wanted was for him to hurt the people I loved most in the world. "Father," I said at breakfast one morning, "I would like to go to England. I've been feeling so much better lately. I think a trip would do me good. There's a scientist there whom I'd like to meet. He could help me with the project I'm starting." My father smiled warmly at me. He looked happy and proud at that moment. He said, "Well, Victor, I think that's a very good idea, but you must promise me something first. You know how much your mother wanted you and Elizabeth to get married? I'll give you permission to go to England, but only after you agree to get married when you get back." I loved Elizabeth with all my heart and soul, but I was afraid. The monster had already killed my brother. What if he harmed her too? I would never forgive myself if anything happened to her. I wanted to marry Elizabeth, but I had to solve my problems first. I couldn't tell my father about the monster. "Of course," I told him. "That's a wonderful idea." He was so happy. We talked for a while longer about my trip. My father did not want me to go to England alone. He wrote to Henry and asked him to go with me. Everything was settled. Elizabeth was happy because she knew we would be married soon. My father was pleased that his family would soon be settled and I was off to England. Henry and I met in Strasbourg. We traveled across Europe and saw many wonderful sights. From castles to churches, from meadows to forests, the country between my homeland and England was amazing. But even Henry's good mood and the beautiful scenery could not make me enjoy myself. I had to start my terrible work again, and nothing could make me feel better. It took us a full month to get to London. We traveled by coach, by foot, by boat, but finally we arrived.